Well, hello, Susan Drury. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me today about your story, Death and Transfiguration,
Duration.
Transfiguration in the Love Notes anthology. I'm so happy to be able to connect with you. I loved your story so much. It was so powerful. And when you were reading it, I could see the reactions of the audience as they were hearing your words. How did publishing this story affect you personally? What was that like for you?
Ah, Well, it was interesting because I wrote that story thinking it was just for me. When you live with a chronic pain condition, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better. But that night was something I'd never experienced before. And literally, I went through a death process. And afterwards, there was a sense of a lot of things shifted as a result of going through that. And it was such a powerful experience that I wanted to write it down for myself. So I did.
Mhm.
I shared it with a couple of very dear friends. And then when I heard about Love Notes, I thought, oh, maybe this would be something that would be appropriate. So I sent it to you, and you had a great response. And indeed, it was put in the anthology and published. And I think what it did was allowed me to realize it's a universal story in a way. And when we
Oh,
talked about
say more about that.
well, all of pain is a universal experience. Nobody is not going to be in a body and feel pain at one time or another. And some people are going to experience it in an extreme way at certain times or whatever. So all of us know what it is to live in physical pain. And we all will have a reaction to that. And often it's resistance, like we want it to go away. We just want it to cease to be.
Yes.
But sometimes it won't. And so, how do we find a way to still be a whole, complete person and live a life of of joy, of whatever, even when we have this as a regular companion? And there's something to learn from it as well. I don't think pain is ever totally random. Sometimes it is. But when it sticks around, there's something there for us to take a look at, for us to understand on a deeper level. And that night was such an experience for me. I mean, I've worked long for many years of being able to live more or less at peace with the ebbs and flows of physical pain. But that night really required my total surrender.
Mhm.
And in that, a rebirth.
In that presence, I'm so fascinated with, we were talking earlier about holding two ideas at one time. And in that space of surrender, did you find anything that surprised you particularly or that was familiar?
It wasn't just surrender, it was actually an affirmation that I am more than my body and
Mm.
I'm actually light and I'm love. So it was surrendering anything that was other than that knowing for myself. The body, it's just a body. The personality, it comes and goes. The history, fine, it's all in the past. So what is it? What is it that I am?
Mm.
And it forced me. I don't know. It made me have to
Invited
go.
you?
It would well more than invite. Be forced is
A
the right.
command performance.
Yeah, it basically insisted
Mm.
I let go of any hold
Mm.
on to anything other than I am light, I am love. Yes, there was a polarity. The polarity was I was dying, but in a way I was being reborn.
Mm. Mm. What a
And
sacred space.
yeah, but through the agony of the physical, really.
Yes.
And it's funny, I'm just thinking of a story that I read about Saint Teresa, who I think she wrote, and she would be awake all night and she would have this burning pain in her chest, and it was ecstatic. And I'm not going to go as far to say that this was an ecstatic experience, but it was one of such fire, the burning up
Oof,
of
oof,
all
ah,
that all that was left at the end was this sense of when the fire has burned everything away, what is left? And
oh
what is
my,
something
oh
left?
my.
Hmm.
So this was this very personal experience that you shared with the world, basically,
Yeah.
through Love Notes. And did anyone in your world of reference surprise you by their reaction to it?
Well, I didn't really share it with people. I have three daughters, grown daughters, and they've all read it. And I think all of them kind of went, "Oh, mom," a little bit. And a couple of dear friends of mine, I think also, I remember one very good friend of mine who also had this same condition, trigeminal neuralgia, although she had surgery, which I also had, but it didn't help for me, but it helped her. Anyway, she said to me after she read it that because she'd always felt so badly that my pain hadn't gone away,
Hmm.
she read that, she said, I understood now. I understood what it's been for you, but not in a sense of, oh, poor you, but in a sense of, oh my goodness, this has been a much deeper journey than just living with pain.
Right. You didn't just stay on the surface of it. You really fully integrated it into your practice, your meditation and your sacred practice. And that was transformative also in itself, right?
Yeah, and I've worked with people for many years as a holistic practitioner.
Hmm.
And one of the things when well, okay, speaking for myself, I pretty much anybody. Nothing is really going to be too much for me to sit with somebody else's pain, but
Mm-hmm.
physical, emotional, psychological, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you walk this kind of a wounded healer experience in your own life, you really can sit with anyone and be a space for them, which is a gift.
Absolutely. Such a beautiful, beautiful story. We're coming to the end of 2024. What's new for you? What are you creating next? Is there anything publishing or anything written in your future?
Well, I'm actually doing quite a lot of writing, and I'm making an app. And this is more along the lines of teaching meditation and being a spiritual mentor and teacher as well. So yeah, there's lots going on. I'm giving
Beautiful.
talks. I'm available. I do workshops quite regularly anyway. I'm going to be doing more of those. I'm taking a small group to Sri Lanka on a sacred journey. We're going to be doing a retreat and journey in Sri Lanka, visiting a few
Beautiful.
sacred sites. That's in March. So yeah, there's lots coming up, Cynthia. I've written an ebook.
Absolutely
Uh,
fabulous. We'll
yeah,
have to put all those in the notes for the video so people can reach out and find out more about what you are creating in the world.
yes, that would be lovely. Well, and I'm always reachable through my website, and I have a newsletter, and there are lots of ways to interact with me.
Good, good, good. This has been so much fun. Thank you for making the time in your busy schedule to be here, and I cannot wait to see what's up next for you.
Well, thank you. And it's always such a pleasure to be with you. And I'm just so grateful that you were such a warm invitation to joining this book and being part of this community.
It's been a really fun experience getting to know you better and understanding your journey and where our paths converge, which I think are in many ways. So more to come, I'm sure.
More to come.